I really want to just start this video by saying, first and foremost, I love the alpha for Delta Force. The extraction mode's everything I've wanted and more, and I'm really excited for the future of this game. And whenever it does finally release, I'm, fingers crossed that it's everything we want plus some. But I do want to discuss things that could ruin this game, and of course one of them is going to be the pay to win aspect. With Arena Breakout just coming out and it having some really heavy pay to win aspects of it, and their studio being owned by Tencent and Team Jade, who's putting out Delta Force, being owned by Tencent, it's something we should be discussing. But that's not really the biggest one because they kind of debunked a lot of that stuff. We will get into it, but I have 6 different things I'll talk about in this video that could make or break this game, and I feel like we should discuss them together as a community. And I would just love your feedback in the comments down below, in my Twitch chat, anywhere. I just want to discuss this together. So let's start with the pay to win aspect, because that is a hot button topic. With Arena Breakout just coming out and you being able to just outright buy the currency so you can buy whatever items you want in game with just a credit card, there's been a lot of talk about, is Delta Force going to be like this? In a recent Reddit post, a question was asked saying, is Delta Force going to be doing the same thing with their in-game currency as the ABI developers did? And an actual Team Jade dev did respond. They said, I can promise that this will absolutely not happen. This is a clear standard that we wanted to set for our game. As a dedicated FPS gamer myself, I made sure our team placed great importance on the global player experience and community. The primary content we offer for our players to purchase includes weapon skins, character cosmetics, and battle passes. First and foremost, our large-scale Havoc Warfare mode has no pay-to-win elements. We also promise that Technic Alloy, which is their in-game currency, and equipment in Hazard Ops will never be sold. They must be earned through gameplay, participating in events, or trading with other players in the auction house. We will not sell these items directly, unlike other games. That's a good jab at ABI, by the way. The highest level of safe boxes, which is a 3x3, will also be available for free by completing missions in the Hazard Ops mode. Adding to that, a large number of safes in Hazard Ops will be given away during our community events, and more seasonal rewards will be provided through the Battle Pass. We also promise that all multiplayer content will be free to experience, with no game content locked behind a paywall. 2 things really popped out to me when I was reading this Reddit post. The first thing is we're getting a battle pass. I personally love battle passes. I know some people are against them, but I think they're just good for the whole player base, especially in a game that's kind of like the extract genre, where you might get burnt out from doing tasks, and having a battle pass will make it still feel like you're progressing in something if you're just not like doing tasks for a while. Say you're doing something else, say you're burnt out, hey, at least I'm still progressing in a battle pass. The second thing is, they say the highest level of safe box will be available for free, which is a 3x3 by just completing missions in the extract mode. But I'm also feeling like you're going to be able to pay for these. In the current alpha, I actually got already a coupon for a 3-day pass for a bigger safe box, and I also got another one for a 7-day pass for a bigger safe box. And I still don't mind this aspect of it at all. If this is the highest they go with pay to win, where you have to either do missions and you can do it for free, or if you just want to pay for the convenience and get one right away, so be it. I'm happy though that they just got ahead of this instead of letting everyone keep guessing until the game's full release. But I still do have 5 other things we need to talk about, and I think they're at least worth a discussion. The second thing on my list that I definitely want to talk about is the operators in this game. Now, even just playing this game for over a week now, I feel like there are some characters and operators that are used a lot more frequently than other operators. And that could just be like, hey, their skills are a lot more easy to use than these other characters' skills, but you still can tell there is kind of a meta breaking down in there, especially if you do have a 3-man squad. I feel like, the 2 rangers with the arrows and 1 healer is pretty OP right now, but it's still shaking out. There's still going to be a lot of people using different characters and maybe a higher skill ceiling to them. But what I'm worried about is them keeping on adding these operators as the game progresses, because as the game progresses, I'm sure they're going to want to add new characters and new operators. And what this will do is create kind of like a power creep thing happening. This whole thing happened with Rainbow Six Siege, right? Rainbow Six Siege kept adding all these new operators, and then they really did get a power creep to them, and it's hard to balance them all at once and make it fair. So you have these operators that are cool, but no one uses at all, and then you have these other operators that are known as S tier or A tier because they're just so useful and so dynamic. And you also have to think that they have to balance these characters not only in the extract mode, but you have to balance them for also the battlefield mode too. So that's something I'm really worried about with this game, is having a hero type shooter is you want to keep adding different characters to keep, you know, the game fresh and the community, you know, excited. But at the same time, I am very nervous about them trying to do this big balance all the time with all these characters for both modes. Another thing that I'm on the fence about that I've seen a lot of people talk about that they want added to the game is proximity chat. This is a big one. Like right now they do have VoIP, so if you are talking to your team, it's just like you're in a Discord call. Other people on the map can't hear you, you can only hear each other. But a lot of people have been saying they want proximity chat so that they get that, you know, talking to the other enemies while you're like hunting them down or killing them. It's a lot, it's really fun and interactive, and it makes a lot of good storylines, and I can see why people want it. But what makes me nervous is what happened with DMZ. And that is a lot of people started teaming up. And I think if team up started really happening in this game, that is something that could really break the game. Like that's something that makes you not have fun as a player. So you're on a team of 3 and then you see a team of 6, even though they're 2 separate teams, they talked with proximity chat and said, hey, let's just team up and you know, fight these other characters. It's just such a gong show. Even though I want proximity chat, I'm really on the fence about it, and I don't know if they should add it or not. This is something I definitely want to hear in the comments down below, because there's so many upsides to it, but I think there's more downsides if they add it. Number 4 on the list is talking about wipes, and we're just going to dabble on this really quickly because we don't know for sure, but what I've heard is the game's not going to have any wipes, which is really interesting for an extract style game. Most extract style games do have wipes in them. It's just part of, I would say, the life cycle of it, because usually when they're adding new content, it's always more enjoyable to test out that new content when you're not using the best of the best gear. It's fun testing all this stuff out with baby gear, and plus fighting other players in baby gear all the time is more fun, right? The TTK is a lot longer. It's not just like who has the better ammo. I don't know. It's just more fun. I like wipes, but them saying that they're not wiping, that's what I heard at least. If that is true, it is going to be interesting, and it does make it so that they have to put out content a lot faster than, say, the godfather of extract royales, which is Tarkov. Now, they don't really come out with updates that fast. It's every 6 months. So it shouldn't be that hard. I'm hoping they're on a 4-month cycle. 3 to 4 months is probably the best right there. I think 3 months is a sweet spot. But with what I'm seeing lately, they have a lot of ideas. They are adding a lot of events. I really like where they're headed with this. I've just never seen another successful extract style game without wipes. So I'm interested in what this is going to be like. And I do believe that more people than not like having a progressive character, though. You know, the hardcore only makes up like 2% of the game, if that. So I understand it if most people do like this. I'm just interested in seeing how they're going to implement it. Also, on top of this, I heard that they already have the first 4 seasons planned out and like ready to go. So that's like a really good sign that they're ahead of the 8 ball already, or whatever that slogan is, whatever it says, ahead of the 8 ball. And am I saying that correct? Either way, you can correct me on that. Is it ahead of the 8 ball? Are you on top of the 8 ball? It's something, but no wipes. I'm interested in seeing how this does. A very big talked about issue right now is the amount of bots that are in the game. And yeah, it is a closed alpha, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bots. Maybe there's just not enough player base at the moment. And once it does come out on console, it's probably going to be easier to have player on player all the time. But the fact that there are bots right now, so they are preparing for it maybe, I would rather see all real players wait an extra minute or two to find a full lobby than having bots constantly, because some matches I'll have all these bots and it's really not as fun, even though I do feel like a god and I'm destroying all these nerds, and then it ends up being like the same character with the 5.52 gun. It still does, it just gets repetitive and it's not as fun because they don't have unique gear on them, and it's just the same old, right? It's just not as good. So I'm hoping that bots aren't really prevalent in the final version, and this even goes for the Battlefield mode. A lot of people are complaining about the bots in the Battlefield mode because the movement is so janky with them. So yeah, bots could really be an issue here. The last thing we have to talk about isn't something that is just prevalent to maybe this game, it's prevalent to every single video game right now, and that is cheaters. I'm sorry to say, but cheaters have taken over this game industry. It's really sad how, I would say, even mainstream it is now, and how much people want to cheat just to be, you know, look like a god to their friends, or just for themselves in the mirror, I guess. I don't know, but it is really sad. Now, they are going to be using Ace anti-cheat, which is Tencent's anti-cheat, and from what I've read so far, it is good. Like, I've heard good things about it, but of course I've read like terrible things, and I don't really know who to believe. But at the end of the day, there is going to be cheaters, and it's always it's always worse in a game like this, where you work really hard to gain a lot of this money, and then you equip yourself with, you know, a baller ass kit, and then you get one tap from nowhere from a cheater. It just hurts so much. But the way I explain it is like, it's like a ship taking on water, right? There's a whole bunch of holes in your ship. The anti-cheat's trying to plug them up, but a cheater just has to find one hole where the anti-cheat's trying to plug up like 17, 18, right? So there's always going to be those people that get through, but I'm hoping they do something like what Cycle Frontier did, even though I doubt they will. Cycle Frontier was, I would say, ahead of the curve with this kind of stuff, where if you did die to a cheater and that person does eventually get banned for cheating, you get a mailbox full of stuff that was on you at that time of dying. I think that's brilliant. I think that would really help out people. At the same time, it does show like, holy crap, I died to a lot of cheaters here. I just got back a crap load of stuff, but at least you get it back eventually. Cheating in any extract style game just hurts way more than, say, a multiplayer game where you can just die and then come back into the next raid without losing anything. You haven't lost anything but time, where an extract royale, you have lost a lot more time, like a lot more time. Now, I'm Canadian, so I'm a very, very big glass half full kind of guy, and I think they've already thought about a lot of this stuff and are trying to work on it. And it seems like they're going to be really proactive with their communication to the community, which I'm really excited for. But I still think it's worth talking about, right? Like, I think it's still worth talking about with the community, with you guys, with everyone. So thank you guys so much just for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, subscribe to the channel. It's free for you guys. It does mean the world to me. Also, I am streaming this game 5 days a week until it goes out of alpha. So that's on twitch.tv/Geekseh. And once it comes out, you guys will be annoyed by how many videos I put out for this, because I am enjoying myself immensely. Like, I am so excited for this game. I love it so much. I can't wait for it. But I felt like I had to make the video and still talk about these things. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later.